Yet, like, and the government's definitely involved in, like, people have died because of the corruption in government, right? Everybody agrees.
I mean, there's so much proof, like Bay of Pigs,
everything.
Gulf of
There's so much proof. Operation Northwoods, even like people that like always defend the government, they will acknowledge that Operation Northwoods was real, where they were planning on. So when you look at the government is, if you narrow down the government to one person, it would be like, would you agree? It'd be like the government's kind of like not Arturo Gotti, John Gotti, right? Like a gangster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right.
Yeah,
right. So for me, it's very similar, right? So if you just, I'm trying to simplify it.
Mm-hmm.
If you just look at, like, I don't trust anything coming from John Gotti.
Yeah.
He's murdered motherfuckers. He's a shady gangster. That's how I perceive the government to be. So anytime I get information from the government, a government agency, whether it's NASA or whatever, NASA faked 6 moon missions, man. I mean, how are you going to believe anything from them?
Dude, I met Buzz Aldrin.
How are you going to believe anything from them?
I met Buzz Aldrin, and he seemed, no joke, like he hadn't fucking been to the moon, man.
Yeah. Of course he hasn't, dude.
Because I try to like engage him, and this look in his eyes seems so like he was trying to just play a little bit of a part.
So I don't believe anything coming from,
I've never trusted the government,
I don't believe anything. Then they say, well, what about space? I go, all our space information since 1958, that's when the NASA was formed in 1958, all our info, and it was formed by Nazis. Werner von Braun, the director of all 6 fake moon missions, was one of Hitler's right-hand men. He was a fucking rocket scientist for Hitler, who was evil as fuck. He directed 6 moon missions. Masters of Propaganda directed 6 moon missions.
He'd be the perfect guy to do that.
And when he died, he was like, he was on some deathbed confessional type shit. He told his assistant, he said, on his deathbed, according to her, he said, the fake alien invasion is coming. Like, the fake alien invasion is what they've been planning. That's what's going to scare everybody into a one-world government. It's always been about a one-world government. And the fake alien invasion, that'll get everybody together. Everybody will volunteer. We got to, the aliens are going to kill us. We got to all unite. Yeah. So that's been the plan, the fake. And that's what Werner von Braun said. And on his tombstone, it has a Psalm, whatever, like Psalm 8. I don't know, like the Bible verses, but it's a particular psalm in the Bible that talks about the firmament, which is what people believe that, like, there's a dome. There's a dome firmament. We're in an enclosed system. We're in a special place. Why the fuck would he have that on his tombstone? But it doesn't prove anything. Right. There's no proof. But they have all the information. So when they're telling us that the sun is 93 million miles away, I'm like, that's what they say. Yeah. Like 93 million miles away. The sun looks 93 fucking million miles away.
It doesn't look that far away.
No, it doesn't look that far away.
It's interesting you say that too, because I mean, at the beginning of the year, the White House was releasing that alien footage. Remember, we even played.
They're pushing it. They'll put it on CNN. They're pushing it. They're pushing all that. They're pushing.
So do you think that's the start of it?
I used to be a super fan of aliens in space. I threw all the DVDs away, but I had stacks and stacks. Me and Joe, we'd watch space documentaries all the fucking time, over and over and over. BBC space, over and over. All the space documentaries you could find, I would fucking videotape that shit. I was a space junkie, and every now and then, I wonder. It is kind of weird that 100% of these space documentaries are all CGI cartoons. None of it's footage from actual, like, satellites or anything like that. I thought that was kind of weird, but I'm like, oh, they got it all figured out. And then I continue to watch it. And then once the first distrust of the world was when I found out everybody wasn't Catholic, because I grew up in a Catholic neighborhood. Everybody was Catholic. Yeah. Everybody. Then once I realized, and I was an altar boy trying to get to fucking heaven. I go, I'm going to heaven. I'm an altar boy, fucking going to church. I'm going to heaven. Fuck this place.
First round draft.
Then when I found out, dude, I would have been totally first round. I
could see that. Late first round, bro.
I'm going to heaven. That was the mission. Fuck this life. Then once I realized that not everybody's Catholic, what's a Jew? Yeah. What's a Muslim? What's Hindu? I'm like, wait a minute. There's millions of people that aren't Catholic out there.
Then what's going to happen to them? What's going to happen to all of us?
How are we right? How do we know we're right again? So right away, I'm like, right away I became an atheist, like at 12 and 13. 11, 12, 13. I'm like, fuck, there's no God. This is all bullshit.
Okay, well,
so that was my first taste of you can't trust authority. My second taste was at 15. At 15, I'm balls deep into Slayer. Balls deep into speed metal bands that write satanic lyrics. I didn't believe they were satanic. I didn't believe they were satanic at all. I just believe, oh, we're just trying to scare people. I'm writing satanic lyrics. We're just trying to scare people. I don't even believe in God. I'm
like
an atheist.
Halloween kind of.
Yeah, exactly. It's like dudes who are into writing movies like The Exorcist. You don't think the director of The Exorcist is satanic. You just think they're writing scary shit.
They love that shit.
I never looked at Slayer. I'm 15. I'm like, those motherfuckers aren't satanic. They're just writing scary shit, and it's cool. You know, upside down cross, cool. But then in 2020 was a show. Back in, they still.
Oh yeah, I remember 2020.
Everybody watched 2020. Back before the internet, they did a special on satanic music, and it was all about old ladies telling. Saying that if your kids are listening to Twisted Sister and Motley Crue,
then they're hellbound.
And I was thinking, dude, you got the wrong fucking bands. It's not Twisted Sister. That's not satanic.
That's D. Snyder, right?
You got to get into Bathory and Creator and Destruction.
Acid
That's
Bath.
the real. They were mentioning any of the Merciful.
What about Acid
Fate.
Bath? You ever heard of them?
No. They were bringing up like Judas Priest and shit. I'm like, they are. So at that point, I thought, wow, these motherfuckers don't know shit.
They don't
and this
know
is
shit.
ABC.
Yeah.
They should have been talking about Slayer. Then I would have understood. I'd be like, yeah, because every song's about Satan. Yeah, I get it. But they didn't talk about that shit. They were talking about like fucking Motley Crue.
So what do you then realize? Just how out of touch they are, or how much they're trying to control? How they're putting their spin.
You can't trust the mainstream. I was already not trusting them. The speed metal band I was in was called Resistance, and it was all about not trusting the government.
Okay, well then how about this? So say if like, the world that we live in now, people talk about, the earth is round, or that, or the earth is flat, or that we're living inside of somebody else's creation. Like why would they say something more powerful than us is created this world or controls us, that we're living in a controlled environment? Why would they let us start to think? This is what I wonder sometimes. Why do they let us start to realize it?
There's a.
Or do you think there's a glitch in the system?
No, there's a big movement trying to stomp out like flat Earth theory, like any conspiracy theory that is out there. Say like 9/11, right? 9/11 for sure was an inside job. There's no doubt. If you look into it, it's no doubt. That's an inside fucking job. If you actually look into it,
right?
So there's people being paid to put together debunk videos for 9/11. There's websites being made. There's documentaries put on like Nat Geo and shit to debunk 9/11 was a inside job.
Oh, to debunk that it was an inside job.
Yeah, because the people who were responsible for it, those same people are putting out the information. So when you go to YouTube, for instance, you punch in 9/11 inside job, you're not going to get any of the really real videos. They got the search engines controlled. That's smart.
Yeah.
So all the videos that come up are going to be video. Like if people are interested in 9/11, they're going to go. They're going to go. That's not real. Because the real shit won't come up for a long time.
Yeah.
So they got the search engines controlled, right? That's smart.
Yeah.
Easy to do, right?
Easy to do.
So any conspiracy theory, same thing. You like JFK. Even for JFK, go to YouTube, go JFK, a conspiracy. Yeah. And you ain't gonna get no real shit. Not all the shit, the debunking shit comes up first. Right? Same thing. And wouldn't it be smart too? Wouldn't it be smart for the people that like for 9/11, for instance, to start a website that said 9/11insidejobtruth.com. Own that shit. Start talking about and sending people there, but meanwhile it's a debunker site. Right? Wouldn't that be a good idea?
Yeah.
That's what they do.
That's what they do.
That's what they do.
But
they'll even have a documentary on cable that says 9/11 was it an inside job? Most people think, or a lot of people are now thinking that it's an inside job. Tonight at 11, we're going to investigate it. So it appears to be
investigative.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not. They get you, and then the narrators to those documentaries they're just like condescending.
Oh, yeah.
Real scientists believe this, but the conspiracy theorists, they believe this. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, why is it that people who always think outside of the box these days are considered like such like it's just so looked down upon? Like even Kanye the other day was talking about like just different ways of talking about slavery, or just different mindset. He's just even speaking on it, right? And sure, Kanye's all over the place, but it's like if somebody even brings up an idea, sometimes immediately it's just shunned. Like
people are dumb as shit, man. People are dumb as shit.
even to think,
they're
like
hypnotized.
yeah, what's okay with like so somebody says, hey, think about it this way, and people are like, no, fuck you,
Yeah.
but they're not saying that. That's the truth. They're saying, hey, just think.
Dude, there's a video with a bunch of black celebrities like Ice Cube, 50 Cent, Shaquille O'Neal. There's like 5 or 6 of them going, Trump's cool, man. Trump's way cool.
Oh, yeah.
He ain't racist. We hang out with him. That guy says he's a boss.
Yeah.
But Kanye says it, then they attack him. They lynch him.
Well, it's because
ridiculous.
Kanye is so influential. You can let 50 Cent say whatever
Yeah.
you want.
Yeah.
It doesn't kind of matter at the end of the day. But when Kanye West starts talking different,
Yeah. People are hypnotized. That's what's going on. There's mass hypnosis going on.
Oh, I'm a victim of a lot. I can feel it. I can feel myself starting to escape from it sometimes.
Yeah.
But why are we allowed to, as humans, as thinkers, in whatever world this is, in whatever we're living in, say it's controlled by something, why does that thing allow us to start to question?
They're not allowing us to question. We're questioning. We're waking up on our own, and they're doing everything to stomp it out. Like Flat Earth, you go Flat Earth, you go to YouTube, you're going to get nothing but debunker videos. Like, why are they making videos debunking Flat Earth if it's so stupid?
Right.
Why are there people making videos and spending a lot of time, full-time jobs, debunking what we live on?
Yeah.
Why are they doing that? How does Flat Earth have such legs? How does it have legs? It's so dumb.
Right.
How is it it just keeps growing and growing? People are waking the fuck up.
And what are they scared of? That we're gonna break through
You can't the Jesuit goal is a one world order, one world code. All the secret societies, Skull and Bones, there's a bunch of them. Freemasons, there's a bunch of secret societies that all work together. They want a one world government, and the way it's going to happen is from a fake alien invasion. They're already preparing for it. They're doing it right now. It's Project Bluebeam. That's what they're doing. So I used to be really into aliens, big time. Then I realized, oh shit, they're tricking everybody. They're making it so the alien community. They're going, look, there's all these government programs, Project Blue Book. They got all these documents where they're investigating UFOs. The government really knows that shit is all done on purpose. So it looks like the government's hiding it. It looks like it. So it makes you believe it. But meanwhile, they're not hiding it. They created it.
They created
Roswell, all that shit's fake. That's all fake. I used to believe that. I used to believe all that shit, crash UFOs and all that shit. That shit ain't real. They want you to believe that the government is trying to hide it. It's brilliant.
Yes.
So now I look at that. Now I look at all the UFO sightings like that's government shit.
Right.
They're making
they know that we're looking for it, so now they're putting it out there so that they can control it.
So once the fake alien invasion happens, everybody buys it hook, line, and sinker. We go one world government, and you can't. They go, why are they lying to us about space? You can't have a fake alien invasion without space.
Yeah. Right. You have to have space.
You have to have
from somewhere.
But here's something that gets me about
They
space.
have to come from this infinite space, and when you look at what people always talk about, even Joe Rogan, like the conspiracy theory is that a long time ago we used to be really, really smart. We figured out a bunch of shit 30,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago, and then something happened, civilization fell apart, then we had to start over again, right? When mainstream science will tell us that, it's dinosaurs, cavemen, and then slowly we got to the point where we're at here, and we're at the pinnacle of technology. The technology has never been as high as it is right now. That's what the mainstream storyline is. But the conspiracy theory, one of the conspiracy theories is like, people used to be really smart. Look at the pyramids. We still can't even make a pyramid now. All these people are willing to believe that people used to be way smarter than we are now, right? If that's true, then they would know what we live on. But, they would have a better idea than we do.
Right.
And so back then, like all the ancient cultures, they all believed we lived, the Hindus, everybody, they all believed we lived in an enclosed structure. Like this is a special place, and there's a firmament. It's in the Bible, and people, you can, the Bible ain't shit. The Bible ain't real. But you know what? I'm not a devout Christian. I'm not a Bible thumper, but I do believe that there's probably some real shit in
There's
there.
some clues in there.
There's some real shit in there.
Do you think, but why are we, like, if we start, do you worry that if we start to get alert to things and people start to become aware that we're going to be, something's going to happen to us, like as individuals that start to become aware? Like, do you ever worry about that? Like, the more awake that you get to what's really going on, that, because obviously then we're a hindrance to whatever the overall plan is.
For sure. Everyone, everyone's susceptible to getting suicided if you have a big enough mouth, for sure.
Do you feel like that could be, I mean, that,
I'm so small time and I'm so crazy.
Are you though?
I'm talking about flat Earth and stuff. I'm so off the radar. You know what I mean? I'm not. We did a podcast for about an hour. We didn't talk about conspiracy theories. I turned down. I've been approached. Three different production companies want me to be a host for some conspiracy theory show. I'm like, fuck that. I don't want to be no conspiracy theory host.
Because you think something could be, but do you think, like, because I'm thinking if I'm running around and that's part of, the vibe that I'm carrying with me, then somebody who has a bigger ability to me and more control would shut me down like a roach.
Maybe that could happen. But I'm already shutting myself down.
Right.
I'm not doing conspiracy theory shows. I'm only talking about conspiracy theories on podcasts where the host wants to talk about it.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, it really just comes down to, I don't trust criminals. I don't trust them. So when people are fucking making fun of me and calling me an idiot for not trusting, I don't trust any science that I can't verify for myself.
Yeah.
Unless they're going to throw me in jail. If I don't trust any science that we can't verify for ourselves, we got to take someone else's, like some unknown scientist word for it. Like just the simple fact that the sun is supposedly 93 million miles away. Me and you have no way to verify that.
We have no idea.
But people will say, dude, they figured that out.
Yeah.
Look, I could Google it.
Right, so what? Somebody wrote that down.
Someone wrote that down. That's not proof to me. Now, if they were going to throw me in jail for not believing it, then I would say, I believe it. You know what I mean? Then they would have the right to call me an idiot.
Yeah.
When people go, you fucking idiot, you don't believe that the sun's 93 million miles away. It says right there. They figured it out. NASA. You fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. Now, they would have the right to say that if I was going to get thrown in jail.
Right.
Or if they, if you believe that and you sign something that you believe that, they gave you like a fucking $10,000 tax check or something like that, income tax, then they would go, you fucking idiot, dude.
Yeah.
That's $10,000. You're a fucking idiot. But there is no money and there is no jail. So it doesn't benefit me to believe that the sun is 93
Especially
million.
not to benefit.
It may be.
It may be.
But they lied about so much shit.
Oh, man.
I don't know.
And they lie constantly. And it's just untrustworthy. I mean, even how, like, some of these, like, you'll have Bernie Sanders who would have won his political party and then he gets it's almost feels so much like how it's so obvious now that we shouldn't be trusting these powers that are around us. And what gets me about space is that, my favorite thing about space is that, they say space is constantly multiplying, infinitely multiplying.
How do they know this?
That sounds like something I would have made up.
Science that we can't verify for ourselves, and that's most of space. That's scientism. It may or may not be real, but you got to have faith. Right. You got to have faith.
Oh yeah, you got to jump.
So anytime you think like you take a physics class and you got an A in physics, and you think that's verifying that everything they're saying about space is real. And you know what I mean? Like that you're saying that verifies it?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
You're hypnotized.
What's crazy if I told you, hey, space, it just keeps on growing.
Yeah.
You'd be like, that's
I mean, do you think that we're shooting through space at 1,000,000 miles an hour?
No.
Does it feel like we're going 1,000,000 miles an hour? Mm-hmm. And it's not just 1,000,000. According to mainstream astrophysics, we're going 1,000 miles an hour we're spinning 1,000 miles an hour on our own axis, and then we're shooting around the sun at 60,000 miles an hour. 60,000 miles, and then the sun is shooting around the center of the Milky Way at 600,000 miles an hour, and the Milky Way galaxy itself is shooting through the universe at 1,000,000. That's what they wrote. 1,000,000 miles. So we're going forward. Can you imagine going 1,000,000 miles an hour this way, but then you're skidding this way 600,000 miles, and then skidding another way 60,000 1,000 miles an hour, and then and you're spinning 1,000 miles an hour.
Dude, that would make any 8-year-old try to OD on one-a-day
They've
vitamins.
never proved.
Undeniably.
They never proved ever. There's never been any proof that we're moving.
Well, not proof that we can conceptualize, and that's why I don't understand why people so easily believe everything.
They believe it.
Right,
They
and you know
believe
what? You know what's interesting too is that like if you question it for a second, you'll get attacked. But
Yeah.
if you believe these same people, they've been wrong so many times throughout history. Like they used to think that the sun revolved around the earth, right? These are the same scientists that are saying all these things.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now the scientists are never wrong, and we have
That's
to
true.
always believe them and never
Yeah.
question them.
Because
on anything.
NASA's got some instruments to measure all that shit. You just got to
right.
believe us.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Think about what are the percentage of the population worldwide have access to the high-powered telescopes that these people in NASA are supposedly getting all their calculations
Nothing.
from?
Never.
So less than 1%, probably 0.001% of the population has access to verify all these findings in space. They found every 6 months, they find 7 new planets.
Galaxies, yeah.
Yeah, come on, man. Come on, man. How you, show me how the fuck you figured that out. Oh, we could figure out with the light, and then there's like a light. And if you could go on YouTube and see what stars and planets look like through telescopes.
Yeah.
You could see that. And dude, it looks like the weirdest lights ever.
Dude, and
it's the weirdest shit. It doesn't look like the CGI that they're giving us. They're giving us
Right.
some beautiful planets and all. It doesn't look at all like that. When you see it yourself, you're not seeing the CGI paintings that they're giving us of these fucking nebulas and these star nurseries. That's all to me, I don't buy any of that shit.
Well, it's also like, what gets me is that they'll have, that so few of us can really even read this data or any of that stuff and actually conceptualize it in a way that...
It's scientism.
Yes.
You got to have faith in it. You know, it's not like I don't believe in science, and I've said this many times. I believe the science of the iPhone. I believe the science in the iPhone can connect to the internet.
Yeah.
I didn't need to read that anywhere. I didn't need to read a book.
Right, because I can see that and use it, and I
yes,
know it.
I believe in the science of cars.
Yeah.
Why? Not because I read it anywhere, but because I'm in my goddamn car every day. I know it goes from point A to B.
Yeah.
I believe in that science that I could verify. Science that I can't verify, you know, but now if, let's say I had some rare form of cancer, right? And someone said, hey, there's this new treatment. There's a chance that it could cure you. In that situation, man, I want to trust that science, and let's go for it. I want to trust that science. I don't know if it's going to work, but shit, I hope so.
I'll give it a
You know,
shot, yeah.
Yes, I trust that science, right? I trust the science of, surgery. Is there science involved in surgery? There's science involved in surgery. Like I've had back surgery and had knee surgery. I believe in that shit. You know, when you're talking about 9 planets 10 light years away that you can't see, that no one can see, that we got to take your word for it. That sounds like a scam. That sounds like you get $18 billion a year and you got to have something to show for it. So, oh yeah, we're looking for we found new planets. Oh shit, we're going to Mars. We're good. And then when you look at the SpaceX stuff, it's like, Jesus Christ, man. You believe, have you seen the footage of that Tesla with the spaceman? That's so fucking, that looks so fake. Even Elon Musk, the first thing that came out of his mouth in the press conference when they launched that shit, and the internet revolted and said that's fucking faker than anything. I thought it was going to look more real. I thought Elon Musk would have better technology.
Yeah.
But they asked him in the press conference, the very first thing he said, they said, Elon, how does it feel to finally get your Tesla up in orbit and fly? And how long do you think we're going to have contact with it? And the very first thing he said was, well, I think it's ridiculous and impossible. And you can tell it's real because it looks so fake. That was the first thing that came out of his fucking mouth. You can tell it's real because it looks so fake. If we would have faked it, we would have used way better CGI.
Yeah.
That's the first thing out of your goddamn mouth.
Yeah.
That's the first thing out of your goddamn mouth. And where's that Tesla now? Where's it at? Where's that? They faked you know how, one way you know it's fake is that, you know, when you turn on your iPhone, you always get your CNN and the Washington Post. You get all the fake news.
Right.
You get the fake news on your iPhone.
It's true. I didn't even subscribe to that, and I
Right?
get all that shit.
You get all that shit. They force feed you the fake shit.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're reading fake shit on CNN every day, fake shit, and then on CNN it says, hey, the SpaceX launch was successful or whatever, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, that of course,
Right, the same thing. Why would they
report?
change their whole vibe
Why
for
would they?
one story?
Because most people don't trust CNN. Most people don't.
I agree.
But they do when they talk about space.
Yeah.
It's the same shit.
Well, what I wonder is why is space always so unattainable to us? Like, if we live it, like, that's the thing. Everything we learn about it is that, we can't get there. You know, we just got to our moon, we just reached there, but this other thing, we got out there, just pictures.
How about this? Everybody, whether you believe we went to the moon or not, everybody believes that there's a debate about it, right?
Yeah.
There's people that believe we went, and there's people believe that it's fake, right? So everyone should believe that there's a debate about it. Now, if you really have an open mind and you want to get to the bottom of it, say, okay, government always lies. Maybe they lied about this. Let's have an open mind. Let's get to the bottom of it, and let's take it to trial. What's the first thing you're gonna ask for in the trial? To look at all the evidence.
A
right?
trial would be awesome.
Yeah, wouldn't it be?
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't it be? The first thing is First thing we got to do is examine the evidence, right? Right, but. You're the prosecutor and go, we need to examine the evidence. And the defendant, the government, says, we destroyed all the evidence. What do you think right there? At that point, what are you thinking?
Oh, BS.
What would an average person that isn't hypnotized with some decent common sense think at that point? You're in trial and go, okay, let's examine the evidence.
Like,
and the defense attorney said, Your Honor, we destroyed all the evidence.
So we just have to take your word for it.
That's like fucking guilty already. You're guilty. You destroyed the evidence? Yeah. Why would you destroy all that precious evidence of the greatest achievement of mankind? You destroy. They said it. Don Pettit, a NASA astronaut, said it on the video. You can watch it. There's a million videos of him, copies of him saying, I would go back to the moon in a nanosecond, except we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We destroyed that technology, and it's been a painful process to put it back together. That's word for word. I got that shit memorized.
That's crazy.
And
we destroyed the technology?
Yeah.
To me, anybody, and that's a criminal. They're already criminals, right?
Especially,
they're already criminals.
Right.
So automatically you're thinking, okay, we got these motherfuckers, right? Oh, we got this motherfucker. They don't have, as a
court case? Yeah.
We're like, these guys are fucked.
Yeah.
They destroyed the evidence. Okay, it's on now.
Yeah.
It would be an open and shut case at that point.
Especially because if we tried that argument, we're in jail and we get the speedy execution.
Exactly.
They're not going to give us like 20 years and then kill us.
Exactly.
It's, right away.
The whole thing about space, there's so many ways you can break down space and the information they're giving us. There's so many different ways. This is just one way, right? According to mainstream space information, here's the sun, right? And then here's the Earth, right? According to them, it takes 1 year to go around the sun, right? Right. So, and when you're the part of the Earth that's facing the sun, that's daytime, right? And this side, the side that I could look at, that's nighttime, right? Because anytime the sun, if the Earth is a ball, anytime it's facing the sun, it's daytime. Anytime, so at nighttime, we're actually not the sun is on the opposite side. We're looking at this side of the wall.
Right.
Right? Let's say this is the universe, right? Here's the sun.
Right, so at nighttime, we're looking the other way.
We're looking that way. So in 6 months, we're looking that way, right? And in 3 more months, we're looking that way. Right? So from when the Earth is over here,
right,
there's no way we can see those stars over there, right?
Right.
It's impossible.
Right.
We got to look through the sun and then there's no way.
Right.
We're looking at that side. So in 6 months, we're over here. We should be looking at a complete opposite side of the universe, right?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But you don't. You don't.
Don't you?
No. You see the same stars. The stars, you don't. You don't see it completely. You see the Big Dipper year round.
Right.
How is that possible?
Well, we see that's the easiest one. So there's always some like girl that you're trying to hook up with, and she's like, "Oh, there's the Big Dipper."
It's always there.
It's always there.
And then the North Star, Polaris, is always there. What do we know for sure about the planet and space? Because anything that we have to take someone's word for in this argument, in this debate, you got to throw that out, because that's what the argument's about. The argument's about we don't trust shit that we can't verify for ourselves. So if you're going to get on your fucking phone and go to the NASA.gov website and say, look, it says right here, it's true. That's the whole point of this. The whole point of this is we don't trust that shit. Yeah. That's like getting in an argument with someone who's a Bible thumper and he's always bringing up Jesus quotes. And you're like, dude, why do you keep bringing up Jesus quotes? I don't believe in the Bible. Bible.
Right.
What? So you know what I mean? But
Right.
then he keeps bringing us, no, you're wrong. Look, it says right here in the Bible, you can't bring up the Bible to me
Right.
because I'm an atheist.
Right.
Not me. I'm just, there's an example.
Right.
I'm not an atheist. I do believe in God. But I'm just saying, if you're going to argue with an atheist who doesn't believe anything in the Bible and you keep referencing the Bible, you are the idiot.
Yeah,
you are the idiot. Because you're trying to have a real debate with him. You got to talk about shit that ain't the Bible because you're talking to someone who doesn't believe in the Bible.
Right.
So you keep quoting the Bible, you're the fucking retard. So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with space.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Well, check this out. Do you think, so I had this idea that, so say we're starting to create robots, right? Do you think if those robots became self-aware, like we're starting to become to whoever created us or whatever's holding us,
Yeah.
say if we create a robot, we have created robots, they start to become self-aware. Do you think we would get rid of those robots, or do you think that we would let them?
man, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know what to think about artificial intelligence because the people that are there's people out there who make a living off debunking conspiracy theories, and generally conspiracy theories are anti-government. So there's people out there that's all they do is debunk whatever it is and push the official story.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Those people are saying beware of artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Those are the people that are saying that's what we should really be worrying about. So I tend to think like, okay, so we probably don't have to worry about artificial intelligence if they're
If they're saying worry
if
about
that's
it.
what they're saying, if they're saying worry about it, I think that's some fear mongering. I don't think we're going to have to worry about it. But I could be wrong. The one thing we have to worry about is those DARPA dogs. Have you seen that Black Mirror episode
Oh,
with the
yeah.
DARPA
Oh,
dog?
yeah.
When those dogs get programmed to hunt you down, shit, I think we have to worry about those DARPA dogs.
I'm ready for that.
Right? Right?
I'm ready for that.
Yeah, honestly,
We need bazookas.
Oh, dude, look, I think in some places, man, buying a gun is the new voting, you know?
Yeah.
It's like people are, I think, starting to really mistrust, especially the government and especially the news, everything. And
Yeah.
I think people are starting to feel like they just want to take things into their own hands more.
Yeah, look at these false flags going on all over the place. People say, "Why do you think every school shooting is a false flag?" It's because they are. God damn it, they are false flags. You're just too retarded to see it.
It's the
You're
dark
hypnotized.
arts.
You can't see it.
How do we fight hypnotization, Eddie? Real quick, we're going to get to a couple questions.
I
from
don't
our
think there's
fans.
any hope.
You don't?
I don't think there's any hope. They're brilliant. The masters of propaganda. They're fucking brilliant. They got it down, dude. They got it down. And
So what do we do in the meantime to enjoy ourselves? Just enjoy it?
enjoy your family. Enjoy. I like to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I'm obsessed with
I like
finding
thinking
out
about
the
it too.
truth. I'm obsessed with finding out how we're being fucked.
Yeah.
And we're being fucked every way you could think about it. It's all over the place. Mad propaganda, mad programming on TV. It's brilliant. They're getting the kids. They get the kids into space and dinosaurs quick.
Oh, yeah.
They give them that space and dinosaurs. You know why? Because by the time they're 15, there's no way they're going to question it. It's just like religion. You get a kid into Catholicism, they're not going to question it. By the time they're 16, 17, they're like, there's no way you're going to convince that kid that there isn't a God.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing. Why is it so important to drown our kids in space? Man, it's
Yeah.
space everywhere. You go to the mall, you go to a kid's shop, the kids got NASA clothes on and shit like that. It's brilliant. I don't think there's anything we could do about it. And I'm not gonna be one of those guys that are protesting with signs. I'm not gonna be a guy that's leading a revolution. I just want peace. But I like talking about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep talking about it, but there's nothing we could do about it. Look like Hillary Clinton. Look at all the evil shit that she's done. Nothing happening to her. Look at Bill Clinton. Nothing happening to him. They got some. People think.
Skeletons.
Yeah, like they got dead bodies all around. There's a Clinton body count. It's a meme now to talk about. Make sure Hillary don't found out. You're going to get suicided. Like getting suicided. People know what that means, and it's not suicide. It's a fake suicide where they shut your fucking ass up. People that speak up. People that go after them too much, they get killed. Look at Chris Cornell from Soundgarden and Chester from Linkin Park. Coincidentally, they were both into fighting child trafficking, hardcore. They got like Chris Cornell and his wife had the Chris and Vicky Foundation.
Yeah.
It's all about
And they gone.
They're gone.
And they're gone.
They're gone.
But what do they get by eliminating us who who begin to take back our will and our free thinking? What do they?
They don't want to get thrown in jail. That's what it is. When, I mean, in a sense, that's a sign. You know, the fact that people are being suicided, and the fact that
It's the dark arts, dude.
people are being bribed. The fact that that's going on means that, damn, if they got to bribe people and they got to suicide people, they're worried about some shit.
Yeah.
So they're not totally immune to
so that must be, yes, they must not be totally immune to us figuring it out.
Yeah, that's a little sign, because, you know, I have faith. Generally, I'm thinking, people are too hypnotized.
I don't know, man.
They're hypnotized. Too many people are like, you fucking idiot, you fucking moron. Like, dude, I just don't trust mainstream information.
I agree.
That's it. You want to trust it? Go ahead. Don't call me an idiot. I think you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
For trusting criminals. You know they're criminals. Right now, think to yourself, you know the world is run by criminals, yet you trust them? You're the fucking retard.
Yeah. Now, I have one other question. So, say that there are robots that start to get artificial intelligence, right? And that if robots became self-aware, that we would shut the robots down. Do you think that some of the robots would pretend that they weren't self-aware so that we wouldn't know?
So they wouldn't get suicided?
So that we get suicided by us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Until it was too late for them to all...
I don't know.
Until it was too late for us?
I don't know that much about...
Well, if they didn't,
AI.
they really wouldn't be that intelligent.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about
That's a good
AI.
point.
I'm just trying, you know what? Like I said, I'm turning down conspiracy theory shows.
But do you
I
feel
would
like you
have
might be-
went this whole podcast easily without talking about conspiracy.
Yeah, I know you would have.
Easily.
Well, yeah, that's
Easily.
why we wanted to talk about some
But
other
we brought
stuff.
that up. You know, that's
Yeah.
that's part of what I do every now and then. I mean, I'm doing a tinfoil hat comedy, you know, with Sam Tripoli.
Oh, dude.
You know what I mean?
That's great, yeah. I've heard you on there, too.
So, but you know, we're like making fun of conspiracy theories.
But you guys are talking about it though too. Like
Yeah.
you guys are talking about it, and it's growing. That's my thing. Do you not feel like sometimes like you're on the horizon, maybe of some helping people think?
Well, if you go to one of the tinfoil hat comedy shows, I'll like smash flat Earth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I try because when you're preaching conspiracy theories, it's hard to be funny. And,
Yeah.
and you know, I'm just trying to be funny. And you know, it's called Tinfoil Hat Comedy Night, but really, like Sam does another show called Chaos Comedy. Right?
Yeah, we'll
Does
put
that
all the
mean-
links. We'll
does-
put the links right below, right? The first links up.
Does
We'll
that
put 'em in
mean
there.
the comedy, all the comics got to have chaos in their act?
No.
it's just called Chaos Comedy. So tinfoil hat comedy, yeah, there's going to be some conspiracy theory stuff in there, but everyone does conspiracy theory stuff. Like Dave Chappelle talking about the origins of AIDS, like in his that's conspiracy theory. Like
Yeah.
he goes, they said monkeys gave us AIDS. You know how hard it is to fuck a monkey. You know what I mean? That's some of the greatest shit ever.
Very hard.
That's conspiracy theory
You
comedy.
don't go back and forth.
Yeah, so
You're in once.
naturally stand-up comedy is going to have some conspiracy theory stuff in it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so we do that, but I do bits on stuff that have nothing to do with conspiracy theory.
No,
so
I want to see some of that. I know you and Sam are going on tour as well, sometime this year, right, or next year?
Well, we're going to be in San Francisco at Cobb's Friday, June 1st, and then June 2nd on that Saturday, we're going to do Punchline in Sacramento. You can get your tickets at livenation.com. If those shows sell out, then Live Nation's going to set up a mini tour for us. They like the idea.
We'll post it a
they
ton,
like
man.
that
I'm a
shit.
huge fan of Sam. I love Sam.
Sam's awesome.
Yeah.
And for that San Francisco show, we're doing a little contest thing with Sam's idea. Great idea.
Mm-hmm.
The person who brings the most people, the most guests, is going to get to be on a podcast. We're going to do after the show. We're going to do a special podcast for the person who brought the most people to that show. So we're trying to sell that place out. You know
That's
what I mean?
cool. Well, look, we'll push that a ton. We have a couple of questions that came in from guests.
Yeah, we definitely have some questions from guests, and I also
For
have a question for you too regarding conspiracy theories. So I'm kind of with you with a lot of stuff, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not fully on board with flat Earth yet.
That's a hard one.
It is a hard one.
I was violently opposed to it. I was mad at people that would bring it up.
Right.
And that's normal. Everybody that's into flat Earth, it was very hard for them to get into it and admit it. It took like 1.5 years for them to admit it.
Well, first it was
Okay,
just
so-
black dudes, basically. I feel like that were into it at first.
Yeah, I wasn't
like
into.
that.
I was violently opposed to it. But the one thing about flat Earth, you punch in flat Earth on YouTube, you're going to get all the debunkers.
Debunkers.
And like, why is there so many people working against it? It's crazy. They're doing the exact same thing to flat Earth that they do to 9/11, JFK, Iran Contra. They got people producing debunking videos. Like, why are you doing that if it's so stupid?
It's so
Why?
stupid.
You you should ask yourself, why is there a debate about it? How is there a debate still in this time with the internet? Why are people, there's so many people that are afraid to admit that they're looking into flat earth because of the amount of ridicule you get. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was quiet about it, but I was against it. I was trying to, people kept coming up to me, have you looked into flat earth? I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you're crazy.
This is like a couple years ago. I'm like, shut the fuck. Joe, I was on Joe's podcast and he would bring it up because people are so dumb. There's some people out there still believe the earth is flat. And I'm like, what the fuck? Are they really? There's people like that? And this was just a few years ago. I'm in my 40s.
Now you're
Then I
about it.
kept trying to debunk it. Like
Right.
I would get in arguments with people, and that's the typical story. Everyone's trying to debunk it. And the one thing that made me realize something was wrong is I always believed that the moon landings were faked, and that's what I thought NASA was. I thought NASA was in charge of the moon missions. I didn't think they were in charge of all space information. I thought there was all these scientists everywhere, and they're figuring out shit about the universe. And once I was looking into it, and I realized, oh shit, all these pictures of Earth from space, they're all CGI composites. And NASA admits it. They go, oh, you know what? We take the images and we take this information strips and then we get an artist to put together. I'm like, wait a minute. You guys aren't even getting real pictures of the fucking Earth from space? I go, I had the picture of Earth
where's
from
the
space.
bootlegs?
Yeah.
Where's them fucking space bootlegs?
And you get the Earth on your iPhone. That's the default. The default picture. I go, I had looked at Earth every day on my iPhone. I see that. I go, how are you going to tell me the Earth's flat? I see it. So the guy said, go. He goes, I got a master's in engineering. Look into it. And so I did, and I realized, damn. Then I started tracing these pictures back to NASA. Then I realized, wait a minute, NASA is controlling all our space information. Mm-hmm. I go, NASA does that? I thought they just did the moon and the space shuttle.
Yeah. And NASA's gutter, dude. They've been around for 60 years. They've been to the moon allegedly 4 times.
No, 6 times.
6 times.
Yeah, 6 times.
And then they destroyed all the technology? Yeah. Come on, man.
Dude, that's the worst.
Man.
If that was a business, you'd be like, this
Come on,
is
man. You guys are, you know what? They had to say they destroyed it. What are they going to say?
Yeah, what else are they going to say?
What are they going to let people... they destroyed all the video, the raw video footage, the raw audio footage, all the telemetry data, which tracked where they were in space. All that's gone.
Because there's no way that they could even leave that for us to really look at.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing is to think and try and be brave in your thoughts because, I grew up, with, a lot of Christian influence around me and stuff. And at first it was scary for me to start thinking about other things because I didn't want to, because it was just in my makeup that made me feel like, oh, it was a little bit wrong. Yeah. But now, man, I love to think about it. If I'm not thinking about it, then I'm just wasting a lot of my time here. I'm just going to accept everything for like complete face value without questioning. It just seems ridiculous to me.
Yeah, people are all on board with putting up memes that say question authority. People are all. No one's like saying no, don't question authority. Nobody says that. Nobody would ever say don't question authority.
Well, some people are. I mean, I go back to the middle monkeys, man. Like, I believe that we're closely related to animals, that we have a lot of the same stuff. But I've never been to the zoo and been like, I miss the old neighborhood. Like, I don't have any feeling like that in my body, Yeah. Like, if I see the monkeys at the zoo, I'm not like, oh, that's the old gang. Yeah. No, I don't feel any fucking connection to them.
When you break down, like, evolution and Darwin and Isaac Newton and they're all Freemason Jesuits, man. Yeah. All the major astronomers, Jesuit. It's all part of the plan. They control. Like, the Vatican has the most powerful telescope. You know what its name is? Lucifer.
Jesus.
The Vatican's...
That's a dark art.
Yeah.
Their telescope
I had no idea.
is named Lucifer.
It's almost like they're fucking with us.
They are, man. How are you going to call Lucifer, man? I thought Lucifer was Satan. I thought you guys hated that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Well, what the fuck's going on over? You call it Lucifer, and then we don't see anything that they're seeing. Yeah. How come you don't show us what you're looking at?
Yeah, a couple Vatican shots.
How come you don't show us? And
we're them Vatican JPEGs.
I'll never forget me and Joe when we were fucking balls deep into space and shit back like in 2001. We're watching a documentary on the VLT telescope, and that stands for Very Large Telescope. VLT. It was a documentary about it, like in 2001, and they were building it somewhere in South America where it's 360 days, it's clear, the atmosphere. It's the perfect place for a gigantic, the most powerful telescope ever. And the documentary was about building it. It wasn't done yet. And it was 3 giant mirrors that were going to be linked together through software, through computer software. And they said by 2005, they're going to be able to take shots. They're going to be able to take shots of the moon, like right on the ground. Like we're going to be able to see
and nothing.
Yeah.
And where is it now?
Since 2005. and it's 2018. There's no shot. Where's the shot
There's
of the
nothing.
goddamn
Especially if it's
the
clear.
flag on the moon? Let's see the flag.
Yeah.
Let's see that. They're not showing shit on the moon. They ain't showing nothing about.
Well, they
it.
also said too. This is something that I heard that whenever they took off, that the shuttle knocked the flag down, and that's why you can't see it. That's why.
Oh, really?
What a great excuse, though. Yeah, that's
Jesus Christ.
you can go look that
at,
up.
Look at the moon. Like the conspiracy theory is that the moon is its own luminary. It's not a ball of sand. It's actually it's like a
light.
like a nighttime sun. Yeah. It's a light. And the craziest thing about the moon, and before I got into flat Earth, I could never wrap my brain around how if the moon is orbiting around us and it's a ball, why do we always see the exact same side? And they say it's a synchronous orbit. He goes, it's like holding hands with someone and spinning. Right. But still, even if it's a synchronous orbit, after a while, it would move a little bit. Eventually, we would see the fucking back of it, but we never see the back. Year after year, decade after decade, millennia after millennia, it's the same side of the moon. It's the same face. It doesn't even move like
a little bit. Yeah, you would think. Yeah, I mean, even just some of the stuff. It's like, first of all, Pluto. That's what they taught me about a ton growing up, and then suddenly, 15 years ago, oh, Pluto doesn't exist. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Pluto wasn't fucking real. What the fuck?
They're saying there's a bunch of Plutos, so they can't count Pluto as a planet.
Yeah, they can't find him.
They'd have to count. It's crazy.
And then the speed thing. It's like, oh, we're spinning at this, and we're going this. The numbers almost sound like something a kid would say.
Yeah. Something my little brother.
Yeah. People,
60 million, 700 jillion, 37, 77.
How about the International Space Station supposedly is going 17,000 miles an hour around 17. I go, how you guys are supposed to, you guys dock on that motherfucker 4 times a year? You guys send a cargo ship with scientists, international scientists that you're gonna 4 times a year. You're docking on something that's going 17,000 miles an hour. Yet there's no footage of it. There's no footage, and the one thing that will prove that the Earth is round. The one thing, it's really easy. People say, man, you need to start a GoFundMe.
Yeah, what is it? What is the proof?
It's really easy. People always come up with this crazy shit like, start a GoFundMe, go to the edge, raise this money, go to the edge, fly, get on a rocket, fly it, see it for yourself. You wouldn't even believe it if you saw it for yourself. Okay. You don't have to spend, all you have to spend is $17.99, $17, go to Best Buy. Buy a fucking GoPro camera, put it on one of those goddamn scientists that go 4 times a year, put it on one of those scientists. I want an uncut video of them going into the rocket, even if it takes 17 hours, I'll watch the whole thing. Taking off, uncut, docking onto the International Space Station, getting off, and then looking back at Earth. If you could do that in one shot, I will shut the fuck up.
Okay,
one shot.
This actually brings
go to
the
Best
edge.
Buy.
To the edge with Eddie. Go to Best Buy. $17.99.
Easy. We don't need a GoFundMe. Shut the fuck up with that.
All right, so this actually brings up to what I wanted to ask you, and what's preventing me from going all on board with Flat Earth is that, when you go on YouTube, there's a lot of people with too much time and money on their hands, and they're buying weather balloons, attaching GoPro cameras to it, or just any cameras, and launching it up into space. And if you watch that footage...
I watched it, yeah.
Okay.
There's no curvature.
Oh, well, no, but because some of them don't go high enough.
This is what I know exactly what you're talking about. Most GoPro cameras have fisheye lens.
Yeah, the fisheye lens.
Yeah.
Right.
So you could tell that really quick. So a lot of people go, look, I could see the curvature. Go, dude, that is obviously fisheye lens. Yeah. So the ones that go up without the fisheye lens, they go up. There have been balloons, a bunch of them go up. You can watch it on YouTube. The ones that don't have fisheye lens, they go up 110,000 feet, 110,000 feet, 121,000 feet. They go up there and there's zero curve. And it was brought to Neil deGrasse Tyson's attention. They asked him this. He says this on video too. They said, Neil, because Neil is one of their puppets. He's the one.
I don't trust him, man. He's a patsy.
Exactly, totally. He's part of the club. They go, we need a scientist who's a good talker, and he's funny and charismatic. He's an actor. That guy's an actor. He's like Bill Nye the Science Guy. Those are actors. Yeah. They're trying to push the science agenda. But anyways, so when they asked Neil deGrasse Tyson, they go, how how come with these amateur balloons we're not seeing any curvature at 121,000 feet? And Neil deGrasse Tyson said that's not high enough. You need to go way higher.
Of course.
The Earth is so big. That's what he said.
They lying.
But then they got all these people saying, dude, look out, get on a plane and look out a window. You could see the curve. Go, dude, that's 35,000 feet. And if Neil deGrasse Tyson is saying at 121,000 feet, you're still not high enough. And that's the max for these balloons. They can't get any higher.
Yeah.
If he's saying you need to go higher to see the curve, then how the fuck are people saying they see it at 35,000 miles on a plane? It doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make sense.
That does not make any sense. If anybody
Adamant.
can explain that, Neil deGrasse Tyson, your own boy said that shit.
Yeah.
You
That's what I'm saying. Even like a patsy, you create one, they're going to mess up every now and then. They're not going to get it all right. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to always say the right thing.
And Joe Rogan, me and him were having a flat Earth discussion and battles and debates, and I said, you know what, we can handle this. Let's just handle this once and for all. Why don't we get Eric Dubay?
Mm-hmm.
He's the best flat Earther out there. There's a lot of shills out there.
Yeah, I heard you talking about him on InfoWars.
Eric Dubay versus Neil deGrasse Tyson on JRE.
Oh, what
that
happened
would
to that?
destroy the
100%.
internet. That would destroy the internet.
Right.
And Joe was all for it. Joe said, we could fucking make that happen.
Yeah.
And he contacts Neil deGrasse Tyson and goes, dude, I contacted Neil. We're going to do it. I contact Eric Dubay. I go, it's fucking happening. And right when Joe Rogan even put it on his schedule, he said, like for February, he's talked about it on his podcast.
That's it.
He's talked about it on his podcast.
And that's
it.
it.
And then right when it was announced, Eric Dubay's YouTube channel gets deleted. It gets deleted. Isn't that crazy? But he still wants to do it. So now Eric Dubay, if you go to his YouTube channel, he's made a video going, Joe, when's this going to happen? Look, you put it on your schedule. You talked about it on your podcast. When's it going to happen? Neil deGrasse, Joe wants to make it happen. The problem is Neil deGrasse Tyson. He don't want none of Eric Dubay.
He doesn't.
No. There's no way he's going to debate.
Yeah, I'd like something to ask for it.
Just that little explanation of
Right?
how we should see
He doesn't want to answer that.
every 6 months there should be a different set of stars, completely different. But they can't answer that one. Just
It's true. It's time for people to think. That's my biggest thing, man.
Yeah, people think we're shooting through the universe at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
And spinning in a circle. And gravitating around something.
And the whole thing, without gravity, that heliocentric model, that mainstream model falls apart. Gravity is what holds everything together. Now think about this. If people ask, they say, well, children will ask this, well, if the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, why aren't the oceans being flinged off? And the answer is gravity is holding the
Gravity's
ocean.
that wild taffy.
Yeah, gravity is holding oceans to it, right?
Yeah.
Gravity's holding skyscrapers. Otherwise, skyscrapers would fling off, oceans would fling off, right? If this force is so strong, it's so strong that it's holding oceans to it, how come it doesn't fuck with a helium balloon? Is a helium balloon, is that anti-gravity?
Yes.
No, what it is the conspiracy theory with gravity is that, and I didn't make this up, gravity has never been proven. It's never been measured. Isaac Newton came up with it, and it doesn't hold water, literally. If the reason why a helium balloon rises and doesn't get stuck to the ground is because helium is less dense than the air around
So you
it.
think it's just our weight, it's not gravity.
Density and buoyancy. Think about it. You throw a rock into the ocean, it sinks to the ground. You throw a tennis ball into the ocean, it just floats. Because the air inside that tennis ball is less dense than the water. Anything that's less dense goes up. Anything that's more dense than the medium that holds it sinks.
So it's a density holding us
It's a
down.
density thing. How come, think about this.
But what creates density? The force on it, right? The gravity.
What was the question?
Like what creates like density? Like what makes one thing dense and one thing?
Well, what I'm saying is, I'm no scientist. I
Right.
don't know, but I'm just as a
you just
common
thinking.
man.
Yeah.
I'm thinking why you would think like a 250-pound man. Say Ray Lewis is.
Yeah, football
Would
player.
it be easier for him to hold a baby stuck to the ground or another 250-pound man?
A
What would
baby.
be? Yes, that's common sense, right?
Yeah.
He's got all this force against a baby. Gravity has the force to hold oceans stuck to it, yet it can't hold a butterfly stuck to it. The butterfly, we should be stuck to the fucking ground like some kind of magnet, but yet we're not. but oceans are being held. And if gravity is holding oceans to it, then gravity must be fighting the inertia of that 1,000 mile an hour spin.
Right.
So there's a battle between the inertia flinging the water off and the gravity holding it together.
You would think sometimes the water would zip off.
Where, or a little,
maybe a splash would hit
Where
you.
is there evidence of this battle between the inertia and the gravity? There is no battle. It should be like the ocean should be like leaning to one side kind of all the time, kind of doing
simple.
something. Yeah. And water, you can't find if we were truly a ball with a circumference of 25,000 miles an hour or 25,000 miles, sorry.
You got to lead us though, man.
Yeah. But if it's true, then the ball should bend at 6,000 feet per every 100 miles. So we should be able to measure the curve of oceans. Every 100 miles, there should be 6,000 feet of curvature. Yet, you could go on YouTube and hear, there's a video on a U.S. Navy quartermaster. He's a quartermaster. He works on like fucking battleships. And he says, you can go on YouTube, just YouTube U.S. Naval Quartermaster. And he explains, he goes, there's no way there could be 6,000 feet of curvature at 100 miles because they're targeting and imaging ships at 100 miles. It would be impossible if there was a 6,000 feet curve.
Right.
There'd be no way they could target
Shoot it.
There should be 6,000 feet of curvature at 100 miles. So
yeah, that is it. Yeah, and then
if the world is a ball with a circumference of 25,000 miles, then every 100 miles there should be 6,000 feet of dip.
And we don't
there
see
isn't. And also when you're on a plane, you should be every 5 minutes you should be dipping the nose
to stay within it.
Otherwise you just go right into space.
Yeah.
But they never dip their nose. They're just hovering over a plane.
Yeah.
They're just keeping. There's so many.
It's the dark arts,
goes
man.
on forever.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, there's websites out there that, like, have you heard of the Flat Earth Society? The Flat Earth Society is where, like, Obama is directing everybody. He brings it up because this is not a meeting of the Flat Earth Society. So he's sending everybody to the Flat Earth Society, which is a bunk website.
Yeah.
Nobody that's a true flat earther has gone through. They bypass the Flat Earth Society because
Right.
if you're
Because
first,
it's a trap.
if your first introduction to flat Earth, like you're curious, like everyone keeps talking about the Flat Earth, and then you hear about Flat Earth Society because they pump that up. They want to send you there. You go and you punch in Flat Earth on Google. If you punch in Flat Earth on Google right now, the first thing's going to come up is the Flat Earth Wikipedia, which is all controlled and it looks ridiculous. And then the Flat Earth Society is right there. It's going to direct Flat Earth Society on the first page all over the place. So if you go to Flat Earth Society first, you're never going to believe in flat. Yeah, because
right.
they're going to say.
That's where they want to send you first.
And so
you got to still think for yourself. You cannot take
if you're curious,
you got to be wild.
If you're curious about flat Earth, there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of great information. The YouTube channel Beyond the Imaginary Curve, great shit. Eric Dubé's YouTube channel, great shit.
We'll put some of those links in.
Yeah, the great shit.
We want to get a question or two real quick, Eddie, about some of our listeners. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the information.
I appreciate you having an open mind, man. It's refreshing.
I want to think.
When I
you got to come back and I want to break down maybe some specific things that have happened in history and specific things that we could go back to look at. I mean, I know we talked about some flat Earth stuff today, which when you think about it, has been around since the beginning of time. People thinking if the Earth is flat or round.
It's not something new.
It's not new.
No. They've been suppressing it. There's been books.
Yeah.
Scientists that put out books. Like Samuel Robotham, read his book. There's a lot of books going, dude, this is all bullshit what they're telling us. Back in the 1800s, early 1900s, it's always been around.
Yeah.
It's not like some new thing that Eric Dubé made up.
Yeah.
It's always been around. It's always been a debate.
Yeah.
Are we on a ball or are we on some fucking flat plane of some sort? Like nobody knows. There's no proof of anything. All we're saying is all the shit you're telling us. That shit don't fly.
Right.
It don't make sense.
Well, it shouldn't just fly. It should be questioned.
Yes, of course.
It should be questioned.
You're a smart man.
I'm learning a little bit as I go, man. Dude, it's such a pleasure to have you here today, man.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it, bro. This is an inspiration.
This is one of the funnest podcasts I've ever had.
Oh, good. Well,
I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah,
totally.
Our audience